Hello and welcome to Around the Wickets on ThePapare.com. It's lovely to be back again after some time, and we got so much to talk about on cricket, your favorite program on Around the Wickets on ThePapare.com. We want to start off with the domestic cricket that happened in Sri Lanka. As you know, Sri Lanka starts off with a Premier Tournament and then we go on to the Super Provincial Tournament. Now we started off the Premier Tournament and just like to recap on some of the outstanding issues during the Premier. Now, as we know, the Chilaumerians, they were the Tier A League champions. They had a fantastic season, I should say, winning so many games and eventually ending up as champions. And then Negombo CC. Now, as you know, Sri Lanka cricket has two segments, a Premier A and a Premier B. Negombo CC became the Premier B champions and they get promoted to Premier A the next year. NCC, the Nondescript Cricket Club, one of the oldest cricket clubs in the country, they did win the T20 championship. They had some fantastic cricketers, a lot of experience, so many international stars, and the SSC, their traditional rivals, won the 50-over championship. So the club tournament is done and dusted, and we'll move on now to the provincial tournament. Just to recap on some outstanding performers in this club tournament. Well, you've heard of the name Malinda Pushpakumara. He keeps getting wickets all the time in the club tournament. He ends up with 70 wickets, the top wicket taker, and Chanaka Kumasaru, another left-arm spinner, and in fact, surprise, surprise, 3 left-arm spinners topping the list of wicket takers. Malinda Pushpakumara 70, Chanaka Kumasaru 69, and Lasith Ambuldenia, another left-arm spinner, young gun from NCC, 63 wickets. In terms of run makers, well, Sachitra Serasinghe of Chilaumerians ended up with a ton of runs, 900 plus runs. There was Oshada Fernando, Kaushal Silva, Shehan Jayasuri, a few names to mention. In T20 cricket, now Lasith Malinga interestingly keeps knocking at the door. Now he's been, I won't say that he's been dropped or ignored, but he's just not been considered at the moment. But in the T20 tournament, 17 wickets, joint highest taker with his clubmate Chaturanga De Silva, who also had 17 wickets in 8 innings, and Prabhat Jayasuri of course, the left-arm spin, also chipping in with 14. Now in T20, well, Dilshan Munavira, one of the names that we always associate with T20 cricket, ending up with 253, the second best run scorer. Rovindu Gunasekara 272 runs. In the limited over format, Sachitra Senanayaka, Nalin Priyadarshana, Jeffrey Van der Sey, well, one of Sri Lanka's brightest young spinners, 14 wickets, and Sachitra Senanayaka, former 17 wickets. And in terms of batsmen, Lahiru Milantha, another exciting young left-handed batsman, 448 runs in just 6 innings. Angelo Pereira, Mahela Udavatta, and Dimut Karunaratne, the other top run getters. So that is as far as the club tournament is concerned. It was a very interesting club tournament, I must say, with once again Chilaumerians winning the Premier A, Negombo CC the Premier B, NCC the T20 champions, and the SSC the 50-over champions. Now, with the conclusion of the club tournament, SLC or Sri Lanka Cricket has now organized a provincial, a super provincial, or a 4-team provincial tournament. Now, that is expected to be an absolutely very fine, highly competitive tournament, and it will be comprising of 4 teams. Now, that will be Kandy, Colombo, Galle, and also Dambulla. Now, Kandy will be led by Angelo Matthews, Dinesh Chandimal will lead Colombo, Suranga Lakmal will lead Galle, and Dimut Karunaratne will lead the Dambulla side. Now, the good news is lots of national cricketers, budding cricketers will be playing in this tournament, and for you, there will be lots of coverage. Television, radio will be bringing the action right up to your doorstep. So you should not miss anything in this provincial tournament that is scheduled to start very shortly. It is a 4-day affair, 4 teams, and there will be home and away and lots of exciting cricket with all the national stars playing, as I said, Angelo Matthews, Dimut Karunaratne, Dinesh Chandimal, and Suranga Lakmal, the new vice-captain of the Sri Lanka side, captaining the 4 teams. Now, that's as far as domestic cricket in Sri Lanka. Well, I'm afraid, I'm sure you've been reading about some of the dark things, the ugly things that have been happening in the cricket world. We used to remember the Australians sometimes being called the ugly Australians, but we also know that the Australians are very, very passionate about their sport and they like to play their sport clean, and that's something that they want to always uphold. But that was not the case in this recently concluded test match in South Africa. I thought the world saw what happened. Now, what is special about this whole saga or the scenario is that Steve Smith admitting to the fact that the leadership team decided to do this. Now, my thinking is about a ball tampering where you alter the condition of the ball is generally something that happens on the field, spur of the moment, if you like to call it. If nothing happens with the ball, if it's not moving, if it's not helping the bowlers, then well, some of these guys tend to go to work and do various things. But I've never heard a captain admitting that they plotted to do that. Now, according to Michael Clarke, the leadership team comprises of the coach, the captain and the vice captain. Now, Darren Lehman, as I speak, has so far not been touched. He's been continued with by Australia, but as far as Steve Smith and then Bancroft and Warner, they got to go back home. Now, one really doesn't know what the fate that will befall them. Cricket Australia has to make the decision. I've heard that within the next 24 to 48 hours, Cricket Australia will make a decision about them. And I believe this is one of the darkest days, not just in Australian cricket, but in cricket as a whole. And everyone watching, everyone playing should really take note of this, and they should never ever embark on doing things like this. So, as I said, ICC has gone to work. They have banned Smith and given him a one-match ban, and Bancroft has been given 75% fine. Well, I sometimes wonder whether these fines and bans are justified, because when you look at some of the bans that have come in or been imposed, well, sometimes it appears that these are fairly, I would say the ICC have been a little bit lenient with the offender. Anyway, that's the story from Around the Wickets. We hope you enjoyed it. Join us again very soon. Until we meet again, it's goodbye.